Parshas Devarim, Shabbos Chazon, Tisha B'Av, Tafshin Pei Beis, and unbelievably so, it's another Tisha B'Av. And as we mentioned in the past, we have to look at Tisha B'Av. Anyone who does not have the Beis HaMikdash built in their days, if the Beis HaMikdash is not built this year, then really it's as if we destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, plain and simple. And it's something that we have to be conscious of. It's something we have to think about, that we do the same thing year after year after year, almost 2,000 years, and we keep thinking about, and we pay lip service, and we say, yeah, we want to be better, Senas Chinam, yeah. But the bottom line is that until we straighten it out, until we take care of the reasons that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the Beis HaMikdash will not be rebuilt. And it's our responsibility, the people of today's generation, it's our responsibility. Before we actually get into what I wanted to focus on this week, a little bit of Inyane Tisha B'Av, I want to mention that today was the yard site of the Nesivos Shalom. Today, Zion of was the Nesivos Shalom's yard site, and it does not get lost on me the tremendous privilege that I have, Baruch Hashem, to have been Zoicha, to have met the Nesivos Shalom just once, and then go on, Baruch Hashem, we've said a couple of thousand Nesivos Shalom Shiurim between the Friday night Shiurim, the Shabbos afternoon Shiurim, Thursday night Shiurim at Bikur Cholim, and I consider it a tremendous privilege, and everybody here really makes it what it is by coming to listen every Thursday night, and it should be a schus for the Nesivos Shalom's neshama, and Nesivos Shalom should be mispalo for all of us. It should be a schus for all of us that are learning His Torah. We have a very special Nesivos Shalom to speak about tonight. As we all know, this Shabbos, the Shabbos before Tisha B'Av, is called Shabbos Chazon. And it's called Shabbos Chazon because we read the Haftarah beginning with Chazon Yeshayahu. It's a vision of the Chorban, a vision of Yeshayahu. And this year, actually, Shabbos Chazon is on Tisha B'Av. This Shabbos is Tisha B'Av. It falls out on Shabbos. And of course, we're still hoping for the Geula before Shabbos. But if Mashiach doesn't come before Shabbos, we're going to have a Shabbos that is Tisha B'Av. And I want to quote you a very interesting Gemara. The Gemara, Masechta Megillah, Daf Hey Amud Beis, tells us something very, very interesting. And listen to this fascinating Gemara. Bikesh Rebbe La'akor Tisha B'Av Shechol B'Shabbos. Rebbe wanted to uproot La'akor Tisha B'Av Shechol B'Shabbos. Why? Omar, Rebbe said, Hoyel v'itchi yitchi. Since we know on Shabbos you're not allowed to be ba'avelos, Shabbos you're not allowed to be sad, you're not allowed to fast. And since we can't fast on Shabbos and we push the Tainus Tisha B'Av off to Sunday, so Rebbe says, you know what? Once you push off the fast, we don't go back to it. There's no fast. On a year that Tisha B'Av is Shabbos, there would be no fast of Tisha B'Av. But the Gemara continues, and the Gemara says, V'loi hoidu loi chachamim. The chachamim were not moida to this shita, and as we know, we paskin like the chachamim that although of course there's no avelus on Shabbos, but we do still fast and we have Tisha B'Av on Sunday. So Nesivos Shalom asks, how do we really understand this difference of opinions? First of all, Lakar, Tisha B'Av, the day of the Beis HaMikdash, we're not going to fast the Tisha B'Av. And what do the Chachamim, the Chachamim did not agree with Rebbe. So Nesivos Shalom brings the Avodas Yisrael from the Koshnitza, Chusi Yagan Aleinu, and he says that the word La'akor could mean something else also. The simple translation of the Gemara is to uproot. That no Tisha B'Av this year. But the word lakor could also mean to make something an ikr. That the Rebbe is telling us, Bikesh Rebbe wants to send us a message that when Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos, that is the ikr Tisha B'Av. And I'll explain in a moment. But lakor could mean that this year, the way Tisha B'Av falls out, that will give us more of a Tisha B'Av, that will do more for us than any other year on Shabbos. The main thing that Tisha B'Av, when Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos, and Nesivos Shalom uses a lashon of Ikar ha'ikarim. That's the Ikar. The message of Tisha B'Av resounds more than any other Yom Tov and more than any other Zman Simcha that Klal Yisrael has. It's an Ikar Sheba Ikarim, something for our Yadus, something that keeps us going. Why? Because at this time, says the Nesivos Shalom, we're so bitter, or we should be anyway, we're so down. Another year went by, like we said, in about another 50 years, it's going to be 2,000 years without a Beis HaMikdash. And now we're so down and we're so upset. Tisha B'Av is this Shabbos. But what are we going to do this Shabbos? On Shabbos, we're going to take all our strength. We're going to strengthen ourselves. And we're going to be happy this Shabbos. It's not easy. I mean, it shouldn't be. Imagine Tisha B'Av. Hashem's house is destroyed. Hashem's Yerushalayim, everything about what was holy to us, Karban is nothing. Hashem doesn't have anything, the Beis HaMikdash anymore. And that's the really bothers us. But you know what? We're going to come home this Shabbos from Shul, and we are going to be, through everything, we're going to be happy. More than any other Yontif. We celebrate the fact this Shabbos that through everything and through the dark times, we know that we are never ever rejected by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That Shabbos comes and HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you and I, Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, you and I, we are together still this Shabbos, more than any other Yontif. We are never, this sends a message because we should be down and depressed. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want us to. On Shabbos, we're going to be happy. We're never, ever totally rejected by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always wants us back. Nesivos Shalom tells us, and this is a Yesoid, I heard from a few people today on the yard side, different things going around, the Yesoid of Nesivos Shalom, and this is, I want to thank Rabbi Brol who sent me the clip of the Nesivos Shalom speaking, and Nesivos Shalom says many places in the Sefer and in many speeches that a large part of hoping for the Geula, it stems from our wanting. It stems from our tefillas. That is what is going to bring the Geula. Our wanting, our longing. And the Nesivos Shalom says that no two people can do the same thing. What I have to do for the Geula, you have to do something different. Every single person has their tafkid in this world, their battle, their thing, their nisyonis, things that you have to straighten out in order that that Mashiach can come, that we could have a Geula. We say every day, the Chachamim were mesakein, we should say every day in the Tefillah, Yerushalayim Ircha Barachamim Tashuv, please return us to Yerushalayim. I know we say, would you believe you say this 3 times a day? Every day, every weekday. As Tzemach David Avdecha, Meheras Atzmiach, B'sechazena Einenu, we're asking that our eyes should be able to see B'shuvcha L'tzion Barachamim. We ask for it every single day, and that's on Shabbos too. Every tefillah, every Shemona Esrei, B'sechazena Einenu, we should be zeicha to see with our own eyes. The avelos and the tefillas that we do, that's what builds the Beis HaMikdash. That is the building blocks of the Beis HaMikdash. So now let's analyze and explain the Gemara, the avelos on the Beis HaMikdash. One part of the avelos is that which we had a Beis HaMikdash and we no longer have it. We had a Beis HaMikdash, we had Gilui Shechina, and we no longer have it. That's it. We don't have it anymore. And really, with everything else in life, we're supposed to come to terms with things. We're always supposed to say that everything was for the best, everything was good. The exception in our lives, the exception for Klal Yisrael, is Chorban Beis HaMikdash. You never come to terms with the Chorban Beis HaMikdash. We don't say, listen, 2,000 years ago, old news, crying over spilled milk. We never say that. The Chorban Beis HaMikdash is supposed to be fresh today as it was almost 2,000 years ago. There's a chelek of Avelus, which we mourn, that which we had and we don't have. But you have to know there's another chelek of Avelus. And that is the tzipiyah la'asid. What we want for the future, the longing for the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash. The Gemara Masechta Shabbos, Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph, tells us that after 120 years, we're going to have to answer the question of tzipisa liyeshua. And it's actually that longing which is going to bring the Beis HaMikdash, like Nesivos Shalom said. We're going to have to answer, not that you remember once a year on Tisha B'Av. Tzipisa liyeshua. We're longing for the future. We're longing for the building of the Beis HaMikdash. So it's really both parts of the Avelos together that we have and that are going to bring the Geula. The Avelos of what we once had, which we don't have anymore. And that type of Avelos is also from the Olam HaBinyan, like the Nesivos Shalom said. When we cry over the Beis HaMikdash, that's what's going to build the Beis HaMikdash. That's really from the Olam HaBinyan, not a crying over something that once happened. The Gemara Masechta Tainis tells us, Kol ha'misabel al Yerushalayim, zoiche v'roye b'simchasa. If you're misabel on Yerushalayim, you will be zoiche, however that means exactly, in the rebuilding, in the joyous rebuilding of Yerushalayim. And that's how it's built. So now listen to this beautiful pshat. When Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos, Chazal and the Gemara Masechta Tainis Daf Chav Tes Amud Beis tell us that you can even eat a shal shudis oichel afilu kesuda shloima b'shaita. We eat a suda as if it's the biggest yomtiv. On Shabbos, on Tisha B'Av. It's usher to have Avelis on this Shabbos. And we're happy with Hashem on this Shabbos. So the only part of the Avelis that's left is the tzipisa liyeshua. Now what I'm longing for the past, you're not on Shabbos, you're not allowed to cry. I'm longing for the future. I'm not allowed to cry about what was in the past. On Shabbos, that is usher. The only part we're allowed to have on Shabbos is the tzoma nafshi le'elokim. Nichsafa v'gam kolsa nafshi. That, the longing which we say every Shabbos, that is what we want. So that is Bikesh Rebbe Laka. Rebbe felt that was the Iker Avelis, the Iker wanting for the Beis HaMikdash is Tzipisa liyeshua, is the future. To make that the Iker, the main Avelis is in the longing. And on Shabbos, we highlight only that. So Bikesh Rebbe Laka, Rebbe wanted to make that the Iker. But the Chachamim disagreed with Rebbe. The Chachamim said that although Tzipisa liyeshua is a great part of it, and it's a big part of wanting Mashiach, it's a big part of longing from Yerushalayim, but there's still the other part. This year it's separate. Tzipisa liyeshua we could have on Shabbos. But the Chachamim said the other part, the part about crying that we once had a Beis HaMikdash and we don't have it today, that you're going to still have to do on Sunday. That the Chachamim said we still need to do it the next day. So the Iker Avelis this year, what we have is on Shabbos. It's the wanting, the Sechazen Einenu asking that we should be able to see the Beis HaMikdash soon. Let's hope that our tefillas this year, aside from Shabbos, and say if Mashiach doesn't come before Sunday, say our fast on Sunday, that finally we learn the lessons of Avas Chinam, Avas Yisrael, of all the things we have to do to build the Beis HaMikdash, and we should be zoicha that this should be the last Tisha B'Av in Galus.